Welcome to C News, your go-to channel for the latest updates on global events, politics, and stories that matter most to you. Stay informed with breaking news, in-depth analysis, and exclusive coverage you won't find anywhere else. Don't miss out, subscribe now and join the C News community for daily updates that keep you ahead of the curve. Prince Harry was offered a royal residence to stay at during his recent trip to the UK. The Duke of Sussex flew from the US to London on Tuesday and was in the capital for 2 days. On Thursday evening, Harry flew to Nigeria from Heathrow Airport alongside his wife Meghan Markle. The couple are currently undertaking a tour of the Commonwealth nation. The King agreed to the Duke of Sussex's request to stay at a royal residence, according to a friend of the monarch. However, Harry chose to stay at a hotel during his time in the UK. The Sussexes no longer have a base in the UK after King Charles evicted the couple from Frogmore Cottage in the summer of 2023. Harry and Meghan had barely used the royal residence since they stepped down as working members of the royal family and moved to the US in 2020, but would stay there when Harry wants to visit the UK. He must give 28 days notice to King Charles and the Home Office to request security. The royals' previous trip to the UK came in February 2024 after Buckingham Palace announced that King Charles had been diagnosed with cancer. Harry was in the UK this week to attend an event at St Paul's Cathedral to mark the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games. Stay in a room at Windsor Castle was rejected in September 2023, with the royal family citing a lack of notice as the reason for the denial. When Harry wants to visit the UK, he must give 28 days notice to King Charles and the Home Office to request security. The royals' previous trip to the UK came in February 2024 after Buckingham Palace announced that King Charles had been diagnosed with cancer. Harry was in the UK this week to attend an event at St Paul's Cathedral to mark the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games. A friend of the King told The Times, while it is true that the King is understandably wary about meeting with Harry, given the publicity circus that seems to surround all such visits, he did of course agree to see his son at the most vulnerable moment of his illness, in February, and at very short notice. While he was hardly going to roll out the red carpet the moment this Invictus trip was announced, with doctors advising him to focus on his treatment and recovery, the idea that he refused to find space in his diary, well, let's say recollections may vary once again. King Charles and Prince Harry did not meet during the Duke of Sussex's short stay in the UK due to the monarch's busy schedule. The King's youngest son released a statement on Tuesday confirming he would not see his father during his visit to London. Prince Harry's recent visit to the United Kingdom unfolded with a mix of logistical decisions, royal protocol, and underlying family dynamics that have continued to capture public attention. Flying in from the United States on Tuesday, the Duke of Sussex spent 2 days in London before departing for Nigeria alongside his wife, Meghan Markle, on Thursday evening. The couple is currently on a tour of the Commonwealth nation, further cementing their commitment to global initiatives and charitable work. Despite his brief stay in the UK, Harry's accommodation arrangements became a point of interest. Sources close to the royal family revealed that King Charles III had agreed to his son's request to stay at a royal residence during the visit. However, Harry opted instead for a hotel, bypassing the opportunity to reside within the walls of the institution he once called home. This decision came in the wake of the couple's eviction from Frogmore Cottage during the summer of 2023, an act that officially severed their physical ties to a royal base in Britain. Since stepping down as working royals in 2020 and relocating to California, Harry and Meghan had made minimal use of the Windsor residence, though it had served as their UK accommodation on prior visits. The Duke's decision to stay at a hotel highlighted the growing divide between him and the institution. A friend of King Charles revealed that while the monarch had acceded to Harry's request for a royal residence, there remained a palpable wariness regarding direct interactions. The King is understandably cautious about meeting with Harry, given the publicity circus that seems to accompany these visits, the friend remarked. This caution was further emphasized by the procedural requirement that Harry must provide 28 days notice to both the King and the Home Office for security arrangements whenever he visits the UK. Harry's trip coincided with an event at St Paul's Cathedral commemorating the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games, a cause close to his heart. Despite being in the capital, the Duke did not meet with King Charles. Buckingham Palace cited the monarch's demanding schedule as the reason for their lack of interaction. Yet, insiders suggested a more complex narrative. Reflecting on Harry's February 2024 visit, when he travelled to Britain following the announcement of King Charles's cancer diagnosis, a friend of the King stated, while the King agreed to meet with Harry at a very vulnerable moment in his illness, the idea that he refused to find time for his son now, well, let's say recollections may vary once again. The February visit had been marked by a sense of urgency, with Harry meeting his father on short notice amidst the monarch's treatment and recovery. However, this time, the dynamic appeared different. A royal source noted that with the King's focus on his health and other pressing engagements, a meeting with Harry was not prioritized. This latest visit also resurfaced the controversy surrounding Harry's denied request to stay at Windsor Castle in September 2023. On that occasion, the royal family cited insufficient notice as the reason for the refusal. It underscored the procedural and emotional distance that has grown between Harry and the institution, a distance further amplified by his candid statements about the royal family in recent years. As Harry departed the UK for Nigeria, the lack of familial reconciliation remained evident. While logistical and procedural considerations may explain the absence of a father-son meeting, the emotional undertones of this ongoing royal rift continue to dominate public discourse. The rift between Prince Harry and King Charles III continues to captivate the public's imagination, with each new chapter in their strained relationship adding more intrigue to an already complex story. The Duke of Sussex's recent trip to the United Kingdom served as yet another example of the emotional and logistical distance that has developed between father and son. While Harry's visit was brief, its implications were significant, sparking fresh debates about whether their bond can ever truly be repaired. Harry arrived in London from the United States on Tuesday, staying for 2 days before flying to Nigeria with his wife, Meghan Markle, to embark on a tour of the Commonwealth nation. While in the UK, Harry attended an event at St. Paul's Cathedral to mark the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games, a cause that has been a cornerstone of his personal and public life. Despite being in the same city, the Duke and his father, King Charles, did not meet, a detail that has fueled speculation about the true state of their relationship. A friend of the king revealed that Charles had agreed to Harry's request to stay at a royal residence during his trip. However, Harry chose to stay at a hotel instead, a decision that some interpreted as symbolic of his increasing estrangement from the institution. The choice was particularly poignant given that Harry and Meghan no longer have a UK base after being evicted from Frognall Cottage in the summer of 2023. The eviction severed one of the last tangible ties the Sussexes had to the royal family's physical domain, leaving Harry to rely on temporary accommodations during his visits. The backdrop to this strained interaction, or lack thereof, goes beyond logistics. In February 2024, Harry had rushed to the UK following Buckingham Palace's announcement that King Charles had been diagnosed with cancer. On that occasion, the king agreed to meet with his son despite the short notice, reportedly setting aside his own discomforts for a vulnerable moment of reconciliation. Yet, even that meeting was clouded by unspoken tensions, with sources close to the royals suggesting that their conversation was more about obligation than genuine connection. This time, however, the reunion did not happen. Buckingham Palace cited the king's busy schedule and health concerns as reasons why no meeting was arranged. With the king focusing on his recovery and his full schedule, it simply wasn't possible, a royal insider explained. Yet, a friend of the monarch hinted at deeper issues, stating, "The king has been cautious about these visits, given the circus that seems to follow Harry. While he did meet him during his illness, he cannot be expected to drop everything every time Harry is in town." The February visit had also been marred by logistical disputes, with Harry's request to stay at Windsor Castle rejected due to a lack of notice. This procedural detail has become emblematic of the broader challenges in their relationship, where protocol often seems to outweigh personal connection. Harry is now required to give 28 days' notice to both King Charles and the Home Office for security arrangements whenever he plans to visit the UK, a stipulation that underscores the formality that has replaced familial warmth. The question of whether their relationship can be repaired looms large. On one hand, there are clear efforts to maintain some semblance of connection. King Charles agreed to Harry's request for accommodation, and Harry, in turn, travelled to the UK to honour an important cause despite knowing that a reunion with his father was unlikely. These actions suggest a mutual, if cautious, desire to keep the door open. On the other hand, the lack of a meeting during this visit speaks volumes about the lingering emotional and institutional divides. For many, the absence of a father-son interaction in London, a city where both were present, symbolises the deep-seated challenges that cannot be ignored. The public is left wondering, is this estrangement temporary, or has the relationship reached a point of no return? Some royal experts argue that as long as Harry continues to speak openly about his grievances with the family, reconciliation will remain difficult. Others believe that time, coupled with shared milestones like King Charles's ongoing recovery and future royal events, may eventually heal the wounds. As Harry and Meghan continue their tour of Nigeria, the world watches, speculating about what the future holds for the Duke and his father. Will they find common ground in their shared history, or will the chasm between them continue to grow? For now, the story remains unresolved, a poignant reminder that even within the gilded walls of royalty, family relationships are as fragile and complicated as they are anywhere else.